Why?
I mean, who's doing it?
Mike Tyson says, let's do this. Are you down?
100%.
Why?
Everyone has a time limit on when they're ready to be the best version of themselves.
Right.
Mike Tyson has been planning a comeback to the ring after taking on Roy Jones Jr. in 2020 for some time. He hasn't been able to find another opponent until now, despite several names being offered, including Evander Holyfield. Tyson may now be set to meet Jake Paul in Las Vegas. Tyson has avoided criticizing the YouTuber siblings Jake and Logan Paul since they first entered the boxing scene, and now he could be rewarded with a mega money bout against the younger brother. According to The Sun, both men's agents are working on plans for a bout in Las Vegas scheduled for the end of 2022. Many fighters, promoters, and fight fans have been dubious of the whole thing as more influencers and athletes from other sports have entered the boxing arena. Some have had harsh comments for Jake Paul, but the YouTuber has a huge backer in the form of boxing legend Iron Mike Tyson. Jake and Logan Paul's boxing talents have been hailed by the 55-year-old, who believes they're only improving the sport by bringing fresh eyes to it. Tyson has previously stated that he would not fight either of the social media stars despite being a vocal admirer of them. However, there are rumors that he and Jake Paul are planning a battle in 2022. Those rumors surfaced on January 17th, stating that a verbal arrangement had been signed for a bout in Las Vegas in 2022, estimated to be worth roughly $50 million by the promoters. Tyson, on the other hand, has done so, downplaying the reports. The former heavyweight champion tweeted a few hours after the original reports, "This is new to me. I saw Jake in St. Bart's, and he didn't say anything about it." While Tyson's statement might be utilized to create some buzz, it has a different tone than when he was supposed to be putting the gloves back on the last time he was rumored to be doing so. When the boxing legend was said to have agreed to fight with Logan Paul in October, he stated that everything is conceivable and discussed how charity would profit. It will take some time to see if these latest battle allegations are correct, but they aren't off to a good start. A source close to Tyson told the newspaper, Mike and Jake are on board for an exhibition bout in Las Vegas. A verbal deal has been struck to get it on, but like all forms of sports businesses, now it's all about the contracts and money split. Mike is looking for a certain figure to get into the ring with a profit share guarantee. Jake obviously has that on his mind, but is keen to show the world that stepping into the ring with a man once called the baddest man on the planet takes his boxing career to the next level. This bout brings old-school boxing fans and new-generation boxing fans together. According to the source, the two parties were discussing a figure of £36 million as to how much a PPV between them might earn. Paul's second fight with Woodley, in which he knocked him out, didn't sell nearly as well as All Elite Wrestling's Full Gear show, according to reports. In November 2020, Tyson, who is 30 years older than his probable opponent, stepped out of retirement for an exhibition battle between Roy Jones Jr., with the two legends drawing the fight. It was believed that the former two-division world heavyweight champion would return to the ring, and he had been linked to a match with Jake's older brother Logan Paul, who fought Floyd Mayweather last year, but nothing had materialized until today's announcement. Paul, who celebrated his 25th birthday on Monday, has continued to advance in his boxing career and is still undefeated inside the ring. At the Amalie Arena in Tampa, Florida, the American star ended 2021 with a thrilling 6th-round KO victory over former UFC welterweight champion Tyron Woodley. Paul is currently 5-0 in professional boxing, having defeated every opponent he has faced so far, including ex-UFC fighter Ben Askren and former NBA star Nate Robinson. Let's talk about Jake Paul's latest fight, Paul vs Tyron Woodley 2. Overall, it wasn't a particularly exciting fight. There were a lot of clinches, sloppy punches, and a takedown, which disappointed the primarily younger fans who were hoping for a knockout. It was anyone's fight going into the 6th round. Paul and Woodley walked to the center of the ring. That's when Woodley let go of his left arm, giving Paul the opportunity he needed. Woodley was knocked out cold when the 24-year-old twisted his hips ever so slightly and fired a detonating right hook. Paul, 5-0, 4 KOs, gave Woodley his props for the two fights and called him a legend. However, the problem child quickly shifted his focus to two high-profile UFC stars who were in attendance and said he'd take on anyone at any time. Paul's game has glaring weaknesses, and his fight-to-fight improvement appears to have slowed. He also has a lot of problems with his cardio. When he knocks someone out, he does so in a dramatic way. Nate Robinson can attest to this. Ben Askren, for example. Now it's Tyron Woodley's turn. When you combine that with big talk, you've got a recipe for attracting attention even when people claim they don't care. How can we forget the exhibition match between Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr.? It was hard to foresee what would happen in the ring during an exhibition battle between boxing legends Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr., with a combined age of 105 and a lack of clarity about the rules before the event. An already unpredictable situation felt even more so. But once inside the ring, the guys gave it their all for 8 2-minute rounds, resulting in a split draw on the WBC assigned judges' scorecards. The bout was rough around the edges, with neither man willing to commit to a large number of strikes. Neither fighter looked to fire more than 2 punches at a time before collapsing in the clinch, which referee Ray Corona had to break up. Jones showed signs of his former style with no-look jabs and showboating, while Tyson hit his trademark left hook from a distance on occasion. In the early rounds, Tyson seemed to pick up the points, hitting the cleaner blows and muscling Jones in the clinch. Jones appeared to be the more tired man in the corner between rounds, but he persisted to trying to finish the fight, increasing his volume in the later rounds. Despite the fact that Tyson is no longer a professional fighter, he continues to do so. Jones's late work helped him gain enough late rounds to win on one scorecard and a tie on the other. The bout ended in a fairly unsatisfactory tie after Tyson won the third scorecard. What are the chances of the fight happening? Jake Paul was reportedly attempting to secure a rematch with former world champion Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. in his upcoming bout. A few days ago, he hinted at a possible transfer to the MMA community. Given all these favorable circumstances, it's difficult to imagine the 25-year-old facing Mike Tyson anytime soon. A large payday, on the other hand, can change everything. Barack Bess, Akin Ak Reyes, and J. Leon Love, Paul's trainer, discussed the fight's possibilities on the DAZN boxing show. Bess believes Tyson will be interested. He started by saying he's been on record saying he'd enjoyed that fight. Jake or Logan, it would be a tremendous money fight. Boxers are sometimes the last to find out. In this scenario, I believe that is true. If it's true and someone complains, Jake, you're 24 years old and you're fighting a 55-year-old man, I want to watch you battle this 55-year-old man. This was the baddest man on the planet and he still looks scary in that ring. If Jake fights Tyson, I've still got to give him credit, win or lose. We've been asking for Jake Paul to fight a boxer. Nobody would want to fight a 55-year-old Mike Tyson. I think it's a good matchup. It is going to bring more eyes than Tommy Fury. Mike, his name transcended sport. But Bisping, the former UFC middleweight champion, does not believe the Nevada State Athletic Commission will approve the match. There's a strong probability that the Paul bout with Mike Tyson won't get licensed either. Bisping claimed on his YouTube account, I believe Mike Tyson fought Roy Jones Jr. in Florida because they couldn't acquire a license in Las Vegas when he returned. Las Vegas is the world's fight capital and the Nevada State Athletic Commission is one of the most difficult to receive a license from. Do you think it'll happen? The answer, according to Mike Tyson, is no. I'd like to see Paul take on Tommy Fury, who is of comparable size, age, and experience. Despite the fact that Paul and Tyson were recently in each other's company during the holidays, the baddest man on the planet has denied any talk of a verbal agreement. I would like to see it. I would like to ask the fans, if this fight did take place, would that be good enough or is Tyson that too old? Although we don't think the fight will take place anytime soon because there's no match between those two fighters, but we would like to know your views on the fight, and would you like to see Mike Tyson fight the problem child? Let us know in the comments and don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel Fist First. Thanks for watching.